Thursday. Welcome back to another Mindful Health interview, Mindful Health series. Today is going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to this interview. We're going to talk about laughter and finding the humor today and some taboo topics. And so I'm just going to go ahead and invite my guest. And I think you're really going to love today's interview. It's all about not taking ourselves too seriously, and hopefully he will get this invite pop up.
Hi,
Hello!
how you doing?
Hi, Zach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That worked out. I'm great. Thanks for asking. That worked out really, really quickly. Hey, everybody coming in. That's good. Usually there's a delay, but you're right on it. Wearing the famous Batman mask, I see.
Yeah.
How's your week going?
It's not going too bad so far, so
Good.
yeah. How about you?
That's yeah, it's going good. It's been real busy, but it's going really good. I'm so excited to talk to you today. I know we did an interview with you on my other morning show, Wake Up with Jenny and Jay, and that
Hmm.
was hilarious. But I wanted to have you on Mindful Health because I think there's so much value behind what you bring, behind, no pun intended. Um, And if you haven't checked out any of Zach's videos, you can do so on TikTok. He's at Bunch of Poop, and on Instagram at Poop Dad. And his videos are hilarious. And the reason why they're so funny, I think, is because, and Zach, you said this before, it's such a taboo topic to talk about poops and farts.
Yes,
And it's
absolutely.
just, it kind of breaks the ice, amongst a group of people and lets us be silly and not take ourselves so seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's really no other way to really break the ice any more than something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to maybe go back if you could tell us kind of how you got started in your TikTok career with these videos and what made you decide on poops and farts as a way to bring comedy to people and give people a laugh.
Yeah, well, I used to just pretty much send text messages to some of my buddies, of a poop video or sometimes just, poop in the toilet of mine. But that was just a select few people. Snapchat was kind of the same way. I'd send it some, more people than I did texting, but it never really got much of a reaction other than people ignoring it or saying that you're gross. And I joined TikTok uh, sometime during like the start of the pandemic, and
Mhm.
I didn't really have anything else to post. I mean, there was nothing really that interesting. I mean, I'm not like a basketball player. I'm not like, a fashion designer. So the only thing I'm exceptional at is flatulence and pooping. And I brought that I brought that to TikTok. And at the time, TikTok was still fairly young in, with older people being on it anyway. I mean, now it's there's tons of older folks that's on there, but uh, there wasn't a whole lot of people doing that sort of stuff at the time. There is now. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
that are doing it, but
Yeah.
um, I just started posting some videos, and one night one of them just went viral. Like it went nuts. It happened quick, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! There's no way that somebody's sitting here watching this." And at the time, like I think we had like 3,000 views on it, and I was just like completely dumbfounded. I was like, "There's no way!" And then it jumped up to like 13,000, and it grew from there. And every once in a while you hit something that's got like a million, and it's like, wow, there's like a million people that have just watched me take a dump. you know. So
I know a lot of people must ask you, and I know we asked you this before, if there's a special diet or a special trick to preparing for these videos, or is it like just like a medical thing? Like people want to know.
well, we did have tacos tonight, so that's probably going to account for some later. Um, but it's really just about anything. I mean, like I could eat anything and it'll turn to a fart or turn to poop in like no time. But there are some things that really get it rolling. White Castle is definitely the biggest one for me. I mean,
Yes.
I get around White Castle and pray for my family for the next week because they're going to be suffering.
Oh no. Oh no. So do you buy like stocks of like air freshener and stuff like that for around the house, or do you do you embrace the odors?
I mean, everyone likes their own.
Right.
But
Austin Powers, everyone
yeah,
likes their own brand.
yeah, yeah. But we do carry poopery at the house, so that's something that has to stay on hand. From time to time needs to be there.
So funny. And I love that you have taken such, as you say, a taboo topic and
Hmm.
used it in a way to make people laugh, because this past year has been so hard on people,
Yeah,
just mentally, emotionally, with the pandemic, with a lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people are having trouble coping with their mental health, and
sure.
laughter is always tends to be the best medicine, I think.
Hmm.
And you have really brought laughter to the forefront with your videos. And I wonder if you could talk about the positive feedback that you're getting from your videos and how they sort of have brightened people's days with this style and sense of humor that you have.
Sure. Well, I mean, like what you talked about there, with the pandemic, I mean, it changed everything for people like overnight. Like, for my family, we enjoy spend a lot of time camping with our kids. And this past
Mm.
summer, I mean, it was almost non-existent because, restrictions being in place, things like that. A lot of places didn't have like, public pools and stuff like that open. So, everyone kind of was hit in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
I mean, mine's pretty trivial, but there's like you say, people that have lost their jobs, lost income, things like that. So it is important, to find time to just take a break from all that, and it's important to laugh, and it kind of takes away some of that anxiety that you feel day to day. When you have something to kind of unwind with, and uh, you know, sometimes like watching a video like mine, I mean, it catches a lot of people off guard, like really quick.
Yeah,
They don't know
yeah.
what when they're scrolling through, flipping through TikTok, and they come across this guy in this Batman mask. They're like, "What is this?" And then they hear, something crazy, and a big dump, and they're like, "Oh my God," and you get a lot of really good responses. People that are just, a lot of like the laughing, crying face emoji. A lot of people that just say, "Oh my God," or "You need to go to the hospital." I mean, I've heard it all, but that's cool and that's okay. I mean, people are just expressing themselves and and venting and getting a laugh. So come on over and poke fun at it or whatever you want to do, because it's up there, it's public, and it's there to make you laugh or maybe gross you out, maybe a little bit of both. Or there's even some people that seem to find it pretty attractive. So I mean, take your pick. So.
Yeah, there's something for everybody. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about having your own show?
Um, it would be cool. It's something that I would really enjoy. I used to be a pretty I don't know what the word is. I don't know, kind of kept to myself, kind of shy, I guess,
Hmm.
person for quite a few years. But it's like I'm completely different from that now. It's just everything's open, everything's public, and I don't really have fear of talking to people or being on stage or anything like that. And it's I think something, like that would be really fun to do. And, I like being the center of attention. So it's
Yeah.
something that'd be right up my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that piece that you talked about being a little bit of an introvert before. So has this sort of TikTok wave or doing the videos about poop and that has that brought you out of your shell, or is it
I mean,
something that you realized?
I mean, I think that happened, prior to TikTok. But,
Hmm.
you know, you can't really be posting stuff like I post and then be a shy person at the same time. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you're showing stuff that is reserved for, you know, for most people, for you and you alone. You know, I mean, most people go to the bathroom, they shut the door, they turn on the fan. If you're in public, people are like, you know, coughing, trying to cover it up. Or women like to take the toilet paper roll at a public restroom and roll it, try to make noise so the women
Yeah.
next stall over don't hear them taking a shit. So, I mean, it's everyone is trying to hide it, but this is a whole
Yeah.
different story. Yeah.
Why do you think there's so much secrecy around trying to hide our bodily functions? I mean, it's the one common thread that we all have, whether you're rich or poor or smart or funny or
Hmm.
whatever, all walks of life. We all poop. We all
Yeah.
fart. So what do you think that it is that like makes it so taboo?
You know, I don't know. It just seems like it's something that's just passed down. You know, I mean, as
Yeah.
when we're little and oh, you know, or when we have kids, you know, it's always something like you go to the bathroom, like you change your kid's diaper, you know, whatever. But like, it's never really something that's like accepted. I guess it's something that's always
Mhm.
it happens. Everyone knows it happens, but we don't talk about it. You know, it's just
Yeah.
always kept real quiet. But it does happen. It happens all the time. And like right now, my daughter's sitting next to me and she doesn't realize, but I'm about to fart on her and that's going to happen. So,
Oh my goodness. Well, that leads me into my next question. How does your family deal with all this and your newfound fame on TikTok and the daily pooping and the farting? How
there's
do they
a
embrace it?
there's a lot of eye rolling that goes on in this house. Uh,
Hi.
there's a lot of, oh, dad's making another video, or, you know, oh, this is gross, that sort of thing. But it's started to become the norm around the house now.
Mhm.
And nobody's really surprised or shocked when they see me, you know, taking a video or something or grabbing my phone and going to the bathroom. They just assume, well, dad's getting ready to make a video again. So they've come to accept it, I guess. But
Mhm.
it's I mean, I don't know how used to or how normal it can be for someone to be like, yeah, my dad or yeah, my husband makes videos for millions of people to see. And oh yeah, well, what does he do? Well, he takes a dump, you know. So,
Do you think they'll be showing these videos at their wedding in, 15,
uh,
20 years? Do you think these will resurface at a later date and time for them?
that that's a good question, and I think that this stuff will probably come back to haunt all of us later on, you know. But I mean, kind of just have to live for now and not what the past was or what the future is going to be. So, I mean, if we all just, you
Yeah.
know, worried about, you know, what was going to happen next, I mean, it'd just be pretty terrible.
Mhm.
So, I mean, on the
Yeah,
same turn of
absolutely.
it, I've got pictures of my daughter. Gosh, when we were trying to, you know, get him out of diapers and get him to go to the bathroom, she was scared to death to use the toilet, and she had
Yeah.
held it for like, gosh, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe a week, and finally
Oh,
went. You know, she gets up from the dinner table, runs upstairs, and finally uses, you know, her little toilet, and then she's like, "Mom, Dad, come up here." We come up there, and there's like a turd the size of a football in this thing, and she is so proud of it. So, you know, she's standing there in her pajamas, like pointing at it, like so proud. I said, "Okay." So that's definitely
so
a picture perfect moment, and hopefully something that, you know, come graduation for her, we can sneak into the, you know, her graduation slideshow. But we'll see.
so it kind of runs in the family then.
Yes, it does. Yes, yes.
Well, it's so funny because for those people who are watching who don't know this yet or haven't checked out my bio, I started out in pre med and I started out as a clinical nutritionist, and that's one of the things that we would often have to talk a lot about with patients and with clients is poop and their pooping habits and
Mm-hmm.
their daily regimes. And it was
Mm-hmm.
such a taboo topic for a lot of people. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
were shy and embarrassed to talk about it. But that's where a lot of information can come in terms of a person's health and what they're
Sure.
deficient in terms of like nutrients and stuff like that. So it was a bigger conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found is that as we progressed through the sessions with people, and they started to feel better and get healthier, that sort of that shyness and that taboo kind of fell by the wayside,
Mm-hmm.
and they were much more comfortable in talking about it and would actually even like sort of be inquisitive about it, like like it's this shape, what does that mean? It smells
Yeah.
like this, what does that mean?
Sure. Yeah.
It's this color, what happened, what did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of those taboo topics, but I think if we sort of break the ice, as we said before, about it, and find the humor in it,
Mm-hmm.
it's great to not take ourselves so seriously all the time. And that's, I think,
Yes.
one of the key takeaways from what you offer people with your videos and with your
Mm-hmm.
humor. And it's so important.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's I don't know, we spend too much time um, you know, wanting to hide some of those things, but like you said, it is important to know what's going on, with your body and just not be ashamed of what's going on. Not everything is something that needs to be shameful. I mean, some things, need to be discussed, not for humor, for medical purposes and things like that. But, but yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Yeah. Do you find uh, are you are you prone to farting in public?
Yeah. Yeah. All the time.
What's
And
your take on public farting?
I am pro public farting. Yeah.
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 I mean, I
Uh,
think we've all been in a circumstance where we've had to like sneak one out and
sure. I I usually take it a step further, and I don't generally I'm not generally the type of person that'll like look for an empty aisle at Walmart, scanning around like, oh, there's no one in the towel aisle, I can go let this one rip. I'll go
yeah.
down where I see someone else standing next to me, and I'll fart, and I'll be like, dude, why'd you do that? You know, turn it around on them. So
Yeah.
you it's way more fun. You definitely are going to get a reaction in some way, shape, or form off of that. So I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah,
In the absence of the dog, you have to blame it on someone, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Now I have to ask you about the masks, because the Batman
Hmm.
mask is such a big part of your character, your persona on TikTok. Tell us about the
Hmm.
mask,
Well,
how
yeah,
that
it
was
has it
started.
has become like very key part of everything. Um, as far as like how it all started, my girls used to have a big dress up trunk in the room, and I mean, in some of the other videos, I've got other things on, um, wigs and things like that. But I don't know. At one point, I had grabbed this Batman mask and, made a video with it. And it's like people just ate it up. They were like, that mask is way too small for you. That's a child's mask. What are you doing with it? And it just, it just got to the point where if I didn't have it on, people were like, hey, where's the mask? So, it has to be now. It just has to be a part of it.
Do you ever envision having your own line of masks coming out with Zach masks?
Yeah, yeah, I have thought about that before. I thought that would be really neat. I have no idea like how much I would have to change the masks if the mask itself is trademarked or not. The design. I'm not sure. Like, I've seen a million of them. In fact, I've got 4 different masks. The one I'm wearing now seems to be the one that everyone likes the most. So I
Yeah.
generally stick with this one. But it would be cool to have something like that. As to be like your own, and maybe even make it like merch, for people that are
Yeah.
interested. I'd be like, hey, I've got this mask too. So I'd like to do that, just don't know how the ins and outs work of it yet.
Do you have any funny poop stories for us?
um I've got millions of poop stories, but there was one that I was thinking of that was it was from a long time ago, but it was
Mhm.
probably one of like the first real, I guess, public accidents that I had. I don't know that I call it public, but I
Mhm.
was I was living with another guy in college, and his girlfriend moved in, and they had bought a couch together. It was a great couch. They were getting ready to go out on a date, and me and him had this stupid thing where we'd say, "You know what I hate? I hate this," and then we'd both like lift our leg and fart. And there was this commercial that came on. It was like a shampoo commercial, and
Mhm.
the lady's like, "Do you know what I hate? I hate split ends." And it used to play all the time, drove me nuts. And it came
Yeah.
on, and I looked over at it. I'm like, "Zane, you know what I hate? I hate split ends." And I lifted my leg and I went to go fart, except it was a lot more than that. And all over his couch, I just rained down
Oh,
just straight lava diarrhea all over it. And I mean, like, I knew at the point when it hit my leg what happened. And it's like, oh my God. And he looked at me, we're just locked eyes for a few seconds. And you could tell, like, I was shocked. He was shocked and angry. And he's like, clean it up. So, like, I get to work cleaning it up. He never told her about it. Uh, I somehow was able to hide it and then, like, sit on the wet spot when they walked away. I remember him walking out the door, pointing at me. He's like, "That better be cleaned up by the time I get home." And I was thinking to myself, like, well, that's it for me. Like, I'm gonna have to change my whole life, move away, change my name. Yeah,
definitely
but
get a new couch.
yeah, yeah. I did bring
Oh
back
my
a
goodness.
shampooer and shampooed it for him. That was about all the money I had available was for a shampooer. I definitely didn't have money for a couch back then, so
Oh my goodness. Where's the most awkward? But someone says light the couch on fire.
yeah, yeah.
I'll say hi to is Evelyn someone you know? I'll say hi to Evelyn. She was in here
That's
earlier a
my
lot.
daughter.
So
Yeah.
okay, hi Evelyn. Where's the most awkward place you've had to poop? Or
Well, I used to work. I did a lot of like electrical maintenance, and we were outside all the time.
Mhm.
So I did a lot of outdoor pooping, and it became something that was was great. I mean, it's very freeing just to open the side door of your truck and you know take a dump. But I guess that can be awkward. When you're beside your work truck and the boss pulls up and you got your car hearts pulled down and you're just blowing mud everywhere. But I think that people kind of came to realize, like, when you saw somebody's door open like that, parked up against, some trees or something, you don't go over there. But I would say, like, if I had to talk about probably the craziest poop thing would have been the one that happened this past year. We
Mhm.
uh, we live in the Midwest, and we ended up driving to Pennsylvania in the summer. There was a campground that we really liked. We wanted to go there, and we'd been there a couple years ago when I worked out in Pittsburgh. So
Mhm.
we head over to this campground, having a blast, and they have a really, really good pizza place that was just down the road from it. And we'd been there before too, and it was just great. So we thought, okay, we'll try this out again. So everyone goes, and the four of us were eating our meal and whatnot, and the pizza is just crazy greasy.
Oh
And
no.
as we get back, it hits the four of us, and everyone's got to go. So my wife goes, the girls go, and I'm like standing there like I'm gonna poop my pants. And it finally got to the point, waiting on the three of them, that I started pooping my pants in the camper with our three humongous dogs,
Oh
and
no.
I tell my wife, I'm like, because one of the girls is still in the bathroom, so I tell my wife, grab me a trash bag, grab me a trash bag. So I'm holding this, my underwear completely filled, so I have to grab a white trash bag nonetheless, so you can see everything as it's coming out. So my wife hands me this trash bag as the girls are still in the bathroom, and I couldn't even control it. I couldn't hold it in, couldn't do anything. It was just flowing. Filled up the trash bag. my wife is bawling her eyes out, crying because she just so doesn't know what to do. There's poop on the trash bag, poop on the camper floor.
Oh no.
One of the girls opens the bathroom door to see what's going on. She starts crying. So now I've got three girls crying. And then I've got three dogs sniffing at the air, very interested and wanting to know, what is Dad doing right now? So
Oh my goodness.
when it was finally all said and done, I tossed the underwear in the trash bag. And of course, at the campground, they come around. They come around to pick up your trash for you. So I had to leave that trash bag there, and somebody did come pick it up. It wasn't there the next day. Sorry.
I would love to know, have two things.
No.
Have you ever pooped in a box? And have you ever pooped on someone's driveway asking for a friend?
No, I've never done that. Those are potential things I could do, but no, I haven't done those. I've always wanted to do the old like paper bag thing, where you take a dump in a bag and light it and put it on somebody's porch, but that could be a little extreme today. It might not be taken so well.
Yeah. Maybe classified as harassment under some
Yeah.
some kind of poop hate crime or something.
Yeah.
I have to know, have you ever seen the movie Bridesmaids? And if so,
Yes.
what is your take on the poop scene? Because it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And I don't care who you are. If you don't laugh at that scene, we need to talk about your mental and emotional health.
You're right. That is probably the funniest poop scene in a movie ever. And we actually just watched that this past month. And it really doesn't ever get old watching that scene. It's like, you watch it and they're pooping everywhere, like toilet and the sink. The sink was a great one. And then, she's walking out in the road. She's like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. And just sits there in that wedding dress. Yeah. It's fantastic.
So funny. So the reason I wanted to connect this with the mental health piece and the humor piece is I actually found a research article on pooping and farting and why it's so funny. And it came out of the University of Helsinki, and what they found was that couples who poop together and fart together actually become closer in their relationships.
Yeah.
Farting actually brings people together.
Yes. And
what is your take on that? How has that sort of developed and evolved in your relationship, with your marriage, and with your wife? What is her take on that? And has it brought you closer together?
Well, I would like to say that I'm going to take this off for now. I would like to say that I was a gentleman and held out on a lot of that for a while, but that wouldn't be accurate.
Okay.
In fact, I think it was the first night that when me and my wife were dating, where she had stayed over at the house, and I have always been the person, like, in the morning. I mean, it's like playing a trumpet. I mean, I'm just huge, long, terrible farts, and she's laying in bed next to me. I'm used to laying, in bed by myself. It was just me and my dog at the time, and I let one rip, and it was loud. It was long. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh my God, there's a woman laying next to me, a hot, naked woman, so I'm like, ugh. So I pretend like I'm still asleep and just lay there for a few more minutes. I'm very awake and aware of what I've just done.
Yeah.
So finally, I enough time's passed, like, oh, I'm going to roll over now. And she's just sitting there looking at me, and she's like, nice fart. So,
busted.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the cat was out of the bag pretty quick. Her, on the other hand, she tried to hide it and, I guess, be a lady, as long as she could. But I mean, with the lifestyle that I'm living right now, she doesn't really hold back on me anymore. She just kind of lets it go. So, but I mean, it's fine. It's natural. It's life.
Yep,
I
we
kind of
all do
like,
it.
yeah. I mean, I kind of like. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I like being farted on or smelling my wife's farts or anything, but
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely, makes for a more interesting relationship rather than, being all kept and keeping it secretive. It's, I know you're farting. You don't have to hide
Yeah,
it from
yeah,
me. On the same turn, you also don't have to blast me in the face with it. So,
yeah. And do you guys find that you laugh a lot about it and that sort of that laughter and that humor kind of brings you closer together in your relationship? Just you're
yes,
having fun
yeah,
together.
yeah. And it definitely depends on who the farter is, too. I mean, when it's me doing it,
Yeah.
it's the greatest thing in the world. My wife will tolerate it, and we go about our business. But then if it's hers, she thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, and she'll want to hear wafted at you, and she'll want you to know that it's her. So there's a little cat and mouse with that, but
Yeah.
it's fun. It's I don't know. I guess it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's it's
Have you ever thought of the fart Olympics? Just saying.
no, I haven't really. I feel like the flatulence skill, although I'm pretty good at it, there's way better farters than me out there.
So would you put yourself at a bronze, silver, gold level? Where would you place yourself there?
I mean, I've heard some really talented people. I guess if I was gonna rate myself, I guess I would rate myself at a bronze. But like I've known people that can actually like draw the air in themselves and make themselves fart. So
What?
I mean,
That's
I
talent.
yeah,
That's talent.
I can't do that. So there's no way I could accept a gold medal for something.
Do you find your ability to let that stuff out and let that go is similar to how you navigate and process your own emotions at all? Like, do you tend to be someone that holds a lot in, or do you kind of express yourself and talk about the things that are bothering you?
I would say for the most part, I pretty much what's on my mind comes out. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I mean, sometimes after it comes out, you kind of wish you could have just bit your tongue a little bit more. But yeah, my personality is more to say what's on my mind, um, pretty much all the time. And
Hmm.
you know, sometimes it's okay. I mean, for the most part, it's okay. Sometimes you could say something, in the heat of the moment, you're upset about something, and you kind of regret that after the fact. But I don't know. I think it's just different personality types. That's just kind of the way that I'm wired.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Paper or wipes?
Um, I really don't like toilet paper, like at all.
Hmm.
I'm so used to not using it. I was using wipes for a long time,
Hmm.
and Dude Wipes sent me a bidet last year, and
Hmm.
that's really where it's at. The bidet is great. It's it's easy. You hit the switch, it turns on, it cleans you up, and you just pat yourself dry with a towel afterwards, and that's it. And it's great. Yeah.
So where's the next venture for Bunch of Poop? What's on the docket for new goals and bringing the entertainment and making people laugh? What's next?
Sometimes I feel like I've run out of ideas. Like I've
Really?
only well to an extent. Like there's been times where I've thought about making something, then realized that I've already made that video, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna make this, and you've already done that. Oh, okay, well that's not gonna work. Or sometimes like I'll hit, I guess, a writer's block, if you want to call it that. It's just a
Yeah.
creative block where it's like, what am I
Yeah.
gonna do with this poop? But sometimes, I mean, sometimes those videos are just fine too. I mean, sometimes the short and simple ones that are just a mess, people are just jaw dropping, with it. And other times people need it to have a big song and dance, for them to really get into it. So I don't know. It'd be nice to have a whole sketchbook or something of ideas that I could come up with. But really, most of
Yeah.
the stuff is never planned for the most part. I mean, if I'm doing like a video, like if someone requested a video for a birthday or something like that, a lot of times I'll
Mhm.
spend a couple days on it, and edit it over like several dumps, so they get something good, But most of the time, it's just like an idea. I'll be driving in the car. It's like, hey, I bet I could incorporate this into poop. Or we having dinner. And it's like, I bet I could, make a pretty cool video like eating this pizza roll. So
I saw that one. That was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
The pizza roll. That one and the one where you have your CPAP mask on your face.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. I was dying.
yeah.
Oh, it was so funny. That made me laugh. And I have to tell you, there's been a couple of stressful days over this past year, and I have watched your videos and
Mhm.
just had such a good laugh. It's really, really brought me back up to a higher vibrational level.
Yeah. The CPAP one, I have to say, was probably inspired from. I want to say it was actually in one of the Jackass movies years ago. There
All
was
right.
a thing where they were farting into like a helmet. They had like a funnel at one end and had this guy farting into it, and I think it was Steve-O was in there, like had to smell him, and he started puking, and that kind of came to mind. And I was like, hey, I got this CPAP hose right here. So they will, sometimes you'll see something, in your regular life. You're like, oh, I can turn this into a poop video.
Has anyone recognized you outside or in public? Has anyone recognized you from your videos?
Um, yeah, actually, when we went to Pennsylvania last year, um, a couple kids that were at the pool had said that they thought that I looked familiar and that they had seen me on TikTok before. I was like, yeah. So, I told them who I was. And then, of course, they were super excited. I mean, these were like young kids, probably 10, 12 years old. And the first thing they do is go run over to their mom, like, Mom, there's this famous TikTok guy there. And mom's like, who? Looking around thinking I'm going to be like some hot buff dad or something. And, scanning the pool and him? So they like pull up videos and you could just see the look of disgust on her face, like watching,
Oh
the videos. She's probably thinking, what is this guy doing to my kids? But
no. Oh my goodness. Well, we are in the we have to get you we mentioned this on our other show is we have to get some sponsors for you because we need to have a golden toilet in your future, my
I,
friend.
I would love that. We've
Yeah.
been remodeling our home, and the
Yeah.
bathroom is actually going to be the last thing to be done. So if there's
Mhm.
anyone out there that wants to, sponsor a bathroom rebuild, hey,
Yeah.
I'd love to feature your cabinetry or your sink or faucet or your golden toilet or your nice spa shower. If you're out
Mhm.
there, contact me.
DM.
Yes.
Now, I just think this is hilarious, and you don't have to say the name of the company, but I I wonder if you could tell a little bit, tell people about what you do for work.
Okay, so I actually just just recently interviewed and got hired to work at a wastewater treatment plant, which is pretty fitting for the poop guy to work at the poop plant, right? So I
I
was
mean,
actually, even as I went into this place, I was early for my interview, and they said, "Well, we're not quite ready. Just have a seat. There's some reading material here on the coffee table. It's probably pretty boring." I look
mhm.
over, and a lot of it was just, like insider industry, numbers that don't make any sense to me right now. But
Yeah.
as I look over, on top of all these magazines of all this stuff, here sits this book that was just titled Poop. And I thought, oh my God. So, of course, I take a picture of it, send it to a couple buddies, send it to my wife. And I was like, I think I
Yeah.
found the place I need to be, So,
It was a sign.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
a sign.
yeah.
Oh gosh. I wanted to play a little bit of word association with you if I could. So
Okay,
I'm going to say some words and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
okay.
Poop.
Corn.
Farts.
I don't know why, but the first thing that came to mind was cotton candy. I think I was picturing like a green fart cloud, and then I saw cotton candy as a cloud. So
Humor.
farts, definitely. Yeah,
Laughter.
that's also going to be farts.
Family.
Oh, my girls. You know,
Communication.
I would say texting. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I hear that.
Mm. Relationship.
Uh, First word that comes to mind is love.
Oh. And Zach, what do you know for sure?
I don't know a whole lot for sure. I know that we're promised nothing. We're here today, and that's it. There's no guarantee for tomorrow or anything else. That's really all I can tell you.
And I love that. And I think I would so totally expect that answer from you because for anybody watching, I have to tell you, Zach is one of the most humble people I have ever met. And you really have mastered a sense of mindfulness in your own life and in the humor and content that you bring to people because you do live in the moment and you
Yeah.
don't take life too seriously. You don't
Mm-hmm.
worry too much about the future. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about is just keeping
Mm-hmm.
that balance and having a sense of gratitude for today and for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you share a lot of joy for a lot of people. And there's a lot of people who appreciate your videos. You have how many followers on TikTok now?
Well, it just went up to 90,000 as of this past week.
90,000.
Yeah. So
90,000 people you have inspired by
yeah,
pooping.
yeah, yeah. That is a really good way to look at it.
So I want to make sure people know where they can get a hold of your content and watch some of your videos and have a laugh and enjoy some of your content. So they can reach you on TikTok at Bunch of Poop, right?
Hmm. Yep, I've
And
got my
then,
TikTok at a bunch of poop, and then I had made a backup account for that at one point. I thought I was shadow banned, so if you search for Big Dumper, um, it'll usually bring up both accounts if you search for Big Dumper. Yeah,
okay. And then on Instagram, you are
Poop Dad.
Poop Dad on Instagram.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah,
you told us recently about some MTV. They picked up one of your videos, right? So
yeah,
we're going to look forward to that.
yeah. And I'm not 100% sure when it's going to be airing, but yeah, the TV show Ridiculousness on MTV did reach out to get a video. Um,
Mhm.
so it should be coming out sometime this year. And when it does, or at least when I know it's going to come out, I'll probably put that out on TikTok to, hey, check this out. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing, what reactions these people are going to get out of it. I've always kind of wondered, when they do that show, is it truly like a blind react or is it scripted? Like
Yeah.
it's. I really want to see, what they're going to think of this when they're sitting up on stage and all of a sudden, here comes the guy in the mask taking a huge nasty dump. I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, we're gonna list all of your links in the story.
Okay.
I'm gonna post this interview to our IGTV page and to my Instagram page so people can watch this video and have a laugh. And I'm also going to feature you along with the article and the research article I found from the University of Helsinki in my monthly magazine called Inspire, which
Okay.
people can download from my website directly. It's totally free, so you can look forward to that as well. Anybody watching
Yeah.
can look forward to the monthly magazine in May. It's be out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st. So Zach, thank you for teaching us all not to take ourselves so seriously, have a little bit of fun, and have some
Yeah.
laughs. Thanks for joining me tonight.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me on. I had a lot of fun, and uh, I really look forward to going back over this on the Instagram and seeing your magazine article and everything else. So it's been great. I'm glad we got to do this again. So
Yeah, and
I'll have to do it again.
thanks to your family for letting you join us in some family interrupt your family time tonight to join us for this interview. So thank you to them as well. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. We'll see you. Thanks again.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.